Okay, before we start, there's something I gotta ask here. For as long as humans have been messing up the world on their own, why do they need to summon Dracula to do it? I mean, if they want to do it in style, okay, fine, but he should wake up mad as hell, wondering why they can't do it themselves like they have been. He should just tell them straight up, don't wake me up until Infinity Wars comes out. Both parts on DVD, so I could have that on loop. Chronicles is a PS1 re-release of the Sharp X68000 version, but they don't stop there because they give you options. Original mode is just straight up old school difficulty where it's the stuff that we had time to throw our middle fingers up at before we had to pay bills and set up our own doctor's appointments. All right, yeah, this time around you can save what stage you were last on, but that's the closest you get to being appreciated for getting older. Arrange mode, they literally lessen the blows you take from enemies, all while being treated to remixed music, and even Simon and Dracula sprites are remade based on designs by Ayami Kojima. Even pixelated, it's eye-catching. For those new to this, you play as Simon Belmont, one who got this party started in the first place. His family's mission is to not only drive back the creatures of the night, but stick it to their man, Count Dracula. You can get power-ups to extend your whip for greater damage, and have sub-weapons you can carry one at a time, along with hearts counting as currency for said arsenal. Even with that, don't expect them to make it easy, because, as I implied, it gets rough. Like high school freshman year rough. Not everything's out to get you though. Like, some things are just impeding your progress, like this ancient Laffy Taffy you see here. It probably smells as good as it looks. This would almost be questionable if not for the fact that 1, it's an old school game, and even though you're deep on the ground, the stages don't always have to make sense. So long as the gameplay's tight, no complaints here. And number 2,
this castle is a creature of chaos. It may take many incarnations.
Now, he tells me.
From the jump, this series always had cool music. You have the ones that matched the intended creep factor back then, but then there's ones like this that had me wonder what it sound like with enough beat jazz coming. Oh yeah, these guys. Whip them all you want, they'll be back up. It'd almost have a motivational undertone if they weren't trying to kill you. You've had mermen, zombies, werebeasts, and it wouldn't be complete without Frankenstein's monster. Oh, he even learned how to rip off my whipping style. So young, so impressionable, so dead. Another frequent annoyance in the series is death. Not just yours throughout it, I mean the actual entity that's Dracula's right-hand man. You know your street cred in the dark arts is strong when death wants to ride with you. Now we get to meet the man in all his 9-foot-tall splendor. His first form is kind of a pushover, just time the jumps, whip his head, and earn a few seconds of rest before this happens. It's just a matter of sticking to the ground and moving as fast as you can to avoid that. Yeah, I forgot that happened at the time. You know what else can happen? Victories. And an extra life that I won't be using. Or could I? Following the credits, it goes right into the new game with your previous gear and lives. I'll play it again, only now in arrange mode, which just is a completely brand new game. There's no carryover from original to arrange or vice versa. I've died enough times in this to know what the differences will be outside cosmetic ones. Now Dracula's looking all fancy and updated.
Isn't he a lady killer?
Acquitted.
Not today, son. And this time, you get a rendered take of the castle falling apart. Fortunately, It'll be back. And so will I. Until next time.